And now, one of the only live shows in the Shenango Valley, coming to you live from Shenango Valley Studios. It may be the only live show in the Shenango Valley. The host, Sean Zip-Eye, with the Zip Code. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and pets, and whoever. Thank you guys for watching the show. We got a great show for you tonight. I'm excited about our guest. Right now, you're probably thinking, I wonder what that Sean Zip-Eye has going on right now. He might look a tad bit different. I wonder why. Well, I'm glad you asked, because you're about to see. But folks, listen up. We have around 1,400 followers right now on Instagram, and we would love it if you guys could spread the news of the zip code. And we'd like to get to 1,500 followers by next week because we have a couple awesome giveaways. So, if you could help spread the word and spread the zip code love, we would appreciate that. We have 2 giveaways that we would like to do sometime next week. They're exciting, and we cannot wait to do that because our marketing guy, Derek Work, he put something special together, let me tell you. So, let's get to 1,500, and then we will get those out. So, folks, without further ado, let's get to our guest tonight, and I will introduce you to Jim Schneider of Eyes of Faith. Let's bring Jim in here. All right. Sheets, our sponsor. We appreciate you, Sheets. Let's get Jim in here.
Hey, Sean.
There he is.
Hey, man, where's your hat?
My hat is missing right now. See, look at that. You got a nice hat.
I had to do it, man.
Oh, man. I need the hat.
You can borrow it.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, if anybody can hear me upstairs, bring me down a hat. Okay. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. But I do have this. I have a crazy pith helmet right here.
That's not good. No.
Probably doesn't do. You know.
No.
It's not my brown fedora.
No. You need the fedora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, folks, welcome to the Zip Code. Jim, thank you for coming on. Jim Schneider is the founder of Eyes of Faith Optical with his wife, Amy. Can't forget your better half.
The boss. I think she might be watching.
All right, well, good. Well, yeah, definitely the boss. And folks, these right here, these 6 shades are Eyes of Faith shades. So if you were wondering what the heck was up with me today, it is the shades. So you guessed correctly. So, awesome. Jim, let me just
There we go. Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Jim, we're ready to rock and roll now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this thing. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the show. We're going to get to the summary of how you guys started Eyes of Faith. Then we'll move into some question and answers. And we have the folks of the Zip Code, the viewers, their favorite part, which is the rapid fire round, where I will ask you a bunch of random questions and you will have to answer immediately. They're all very safe questions, but we'll get to that later in the show.
I'll be ready.
So let's do this thing. We have Jim Schneider with Eyes of Faith on the show tonight. Now, Jim, you graduated from Ohio Northern University, and then you worked for Cincinnati Financial as an insurance underwriter.
Yes.
And then you came to the Shenango Valley for Gilbert's Risk Solutions for commercial risk management.
Yes.
And all those things with that background, how the heck did you start Eyes of Faith?
Well, it's a really interesting story. 2008. I don't know. Do you remember 2008? Were you alive in 2008, 2009?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Do you remember it was a bad year for the recession and things weren't going great, right?
True. Very true.
And everybody just quits their job and moves on and does something and starts a new company at that time, right? It's always the best thing to do. So, but what happened was, Eyes of Faith, we're a prayerful group. So I was praying and I said this prayer, the same prayer every morning, was just, God, use me. And it was Sunday morning, October 28th to be exact, or I'm sorry, September 28th. And this thought of an eyewear company came to mind. And it wasn't a shout from heaven. It was just this thought, okay? And so I woke up my wife from a very deep sleep, AKA the boss. Amy, I have an idea to start an eyewear company. And she's like, go back to bed, you're crazy. And I'm like, maybe. But her prayer had been, God, how are you going to use me? All I know how to do is fit people for glasses and love them. So I'm like, we kind of came together. So the next day, like everybody does this too, the next day we booked a trip to Las Vegas to go to what's called Vision Expo West, which was actually canceled today because of COVID. Thank you, everything's been canceled. And we booked a trip on Monday. We left on Wednesday. So the thought came to me on a Sunday. Wednesday, we're in Las Vegas looking at this huge optical show with all these big brands from Oakley to Coach. Every brand you can imagine was there, 5,000 brands, but nothing represented faith. And so Eyes of Faith was born. And we just had the passion to do it. And then 9 months later, again, the recession is in full force, the financial difficulties. Hey, let's quit my great job. Launch our brand in Disney World, which is another great story. Maybe if we have time, we can get to that. But and so in September of 2009, we officially launched our brand and we got going.
So what was the time frame from you quitting your job to the idea? So to having the idea to you actually quitting your job, what was that time frame?
The idea was in late September. I formally resigned in May of 2009. So six months later.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 months later. Yeah.
Wow.
And
go ahead and tell us about the launch in Disney World.
Okay. Well, so in May, because I gave Gilbert's 3 months to find a great person, and they did, and we're great friends, Brad and their family. But I was reading a magazine, and because we're big fans of Christian music, and I said, hey, Amy, look, Disney World has an event called Night of Joy. It's a 2-night event of Christian artists. It's no longer taking place, but it was going on for like 30 years. And I said, we should launch our brand there. Because it was like 5 days after I was going to officially resign from the company. So I didn't have a job then. Okay. So that was my job. And so Amy's like, you're crazy again. How are you going to make that happen? And I'm like, I don't know. And so the next morning, I'm playing golf, but I get a call from the guy who's an insurance consultant for Gilbert's. He lives in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm like, why is he calling me? He calls me up and says, he left me a message, Jim, give me a call back as soon as you can. And I'm like, I called him back, 5 hours later. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I got a guy here you need to talk to. I'm like, okay. He puts him on the phone. Hey, Jim, my name is Buddy Smith. Gary told me about your Eyes of Faith project. Have you ever heard of Disney's Night of Joy? I said, yeah, just yesterday. He goes, well, I'm the sponsor coordinator and we want you. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And so that was like, he told me how much it cost, and then I threw up and got back on the phone with him. But it's so 2 weeks later, we're flying down to Disney World. They put us up in their fancy beach club resort, and we're like, Amy, what's going on here? All we have is a brand name, and we're meeting with the biggest brand in the world to launch our brand. Something's not right. And so we get down on our knees, and we're praying for God's guidance on this. And we get back up. Okay, let's go to the pool. We walked out, and there was a skywriter writing "Trust Jesus" in the sky. Like, okay, we're going to do it.
Wow.
and that's kind of how it happened. But those relationships, business is all about relationships. But those relationships that we built at that event are still causing amazing things to happen today. So God had a plan.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take these off for a split second, folks. These shades right here are Eyes of Faith shades. They make normal glassware, and they also have shades. And the inside of them, each one of them has a scripture verse. This one says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart," Proverbs 3:5. And then on the right side it says, "Trust." So Jim, I'm guessing that each pair of glasses is named from the Bible verse. Is that correct?
Yes, it's part of the design. It's really the last stage of the design process. This is the boss job. This is Amy's job. She goes in and she decides after she designs this frame what she wants to name it, and what scripture she wants to go with that name. So we love it. We love doing that. It's really a great part of what we do, and it's the one thing that really separates Eyes of Faith from every other frame line in the world. We put scripture on the inside of the temple, and we love it because it engages you. We sell to eye doctors, and it really engages inside that office. And it's like our brand brings people to tears sometimes because they just need someone to talk to, or it brings them hugs, or whatever it is. It just creates great fellowship.
Absolutely. Folks, we're here on the Zip Code with Jim Schneider, founder with his wife of Eyes of Faith. Going to take a quick second here. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sheets. It's done and done. Got to get that fucking Sheets, Jim.
We love Sheets. Yeah.
So, folks, I did not tell him to say that, so there you go.
Sure.
If anybody has any questions throughout the next 45, 50 minutes or so, please put them in the chat. We will try to get to them. Sometimes we have a bunch, so we can't get to them all. But please type them in the chat, and I will try my best to ask Jim that question. But Jim, so Eyes of Faith, one of the taglines is purpose, passion, and style.
Yeah.
For some of the viewers that don't know what the main purpose of Eyes of Faith is, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, actually, purpose, passion, style is the exact same tagline we had 11 years ago when we started the company. And because we knew what we wanted to do, and the purpose was giving the gift of sight to those in need who could not afford it, didn't have access to medical care, or eye care. And that portion is being lived out. Pretty cool. And I'll give you an example. I've been to Kenya 3 times with an organization called Sight Ministries International. I sit on their board. We deliver brand new glasses to those in need. These glasses are custom, where the lenses will fit in the right and the left symmetrically. So it could be like a -3 here and a -5 here. We put them in there, boom, go see. And it's that easy.
Wow.
But the relationship, again, I talked a little bit about relationships, but the relationships that we've built in Kenya, I had, his name's Bishop Moses Tari, had him come here like 5 years ago to visit churches around here. And we kind of did a little thank you tour with the eye care providers too. But he spoke at New Life Church and New Life Baptist in New Wilmington. And that relationship has brought about some funding for him. And just today, he posted that they fed over 200 families and were giving everybody masks because of that funding from New Life. And he tagged us in it. And I'm like, and he specifically said, this relationship would not have happened unless I came to visit you and did all this. And that was all because of the Eyes of Faith Wear and Share program. It's these great connections that happen. And so that's part of our Wear and Share program. This year with the COVID, there's not much mission work going on outside of the States right now, or inside of the States for that matter. So that's a big part of it. The passion piece really is, we want to just reflect the love of Christ in the optical marketplace. Bottom line is that there's so many different faiths out there. They wear our brand. They love our brand. They might not be a Christian or whatever, but they're They love the brand and what it stands for from that philanthropic standpoint. And all we do is try to love them, no matter what. Just love them. And the style piece is where Amy's expertise comes into play. She's an optician for over 25 years now. She knows how to fit people for glasses, and she also knows how to design glasses very well that fit people very well. From a style perspective, we utilize one of the really cool things that Eyes of Faith does. We utilize a world's leading trend forecaster for fashion. So Amy's already looking 2 years out in terms of what colors are going to be trending, what shapes might be trending, and what materials might be trending. So that's kind of what that's all about, is the purpose, passion, style. We'll talk a little bit maybe about the what we're doing in Ghana here shortly too.
Yeah, for sure. And folks, if you want to check out that exact style that Jim is talking about and the incredible work that Amy does with the design, you can just go to eofoptical.com and you will be blown away. It is very trendy. They have a ton of different styles on there. Jim, just scrolling through the website and coming to the shop, it's awesome. She does amazing work. So folks, check that out. Check that out for sure.
And you can virtually try on many of our frames too. Some of the new ones you can't yet, but you can use your phone and virtually try them on.
So right after this, folks, you got no excuse. You can go on the website and you can throw some of those bad boys on.
Yeah.
So the purpose, let me dig into that a little bit. So the purpose on the website, it says giving the gift of sight through mission work, and a portion of every purchase supports Wear and Share. So a portion of every single purchase of the eyeglasses is sent to Wear and Share. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. And Wear and Share, do they mostly operate in Africa, or where are they at?
Well, Wear and Share is the branding that we use for our give back mechanism.
Okay.
So it's kind of our tagline for the mission work that we do.
Gotcha.
So Wear and Share gives out funds like for sight ministries, and a lot of people just request reading glasses or sunglasses to take on mission trips if they're not doing specific sight work, but they can deliver a pair of sunglasses or a pair of reading glasses so people can read their Bible, do intricate work, those types of things. We do a lot of that work as well.
Yeah. So right here, I have some names of some glasses here. I'm just going to read. So we have Worship, Proclaim, Sing, Refuge, Shelter, Declare, Shadow, Soar, Worthy, Reign, Radiance, Exalted, and there's a bunch more. So after those designs are done, is that when Amy names the glasses, or does she kind of think of some of that stuff and then she designs it according, or how does that design process work?
Well, the design process starts with a shape, okay? And what kind of, like, this is a new shape that's called Sing that has a little bit of a flat bar, or flat eye bar right here. So it all starts with the shape, and then after the shape is done and confirmed, and it can be, I mean, she gets to the millimeters, in terms of the bridge sizes and what's happening everywhere. And then she goes with the color. Then we start selecting colors for the frame. And we get a lot of different prototypes colors in. She's got thousands right here in the studio of sample acetates that we use to put the colors into the shapes. Then after that's all done and approved, this is usually a new design is an 18-month process. So after everything's done and approved, the prototype's done, that's when, okay, now let's name this frame. What does this frame feel like? Or was it just, spirit telling you the name of this frame? Yeah. Yeah.
So right now she could be working on stuff that might not come out till the beginning of like 2022.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're working right now. She's working on, trying to do some finalizations for spring 2021. But she's always looking ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hey, I mean, if you're going to be trendy, you got to do that.
Yeah.
So, folks, we'll get to some of your questions in a second. We're here with Jim Schneider from Eyes of Faith. Jim, let me ask you this. If somebody is watching right now in the Shenango Valley, and then we'll get to if they're watching elsewhere, but if they're watching in the Shenango Valley and they want to purchase some Eyes of Faith glasses, where can they do that at?
Well, what I would do is, we're here at the Armory of the Arts building, right behind Lulu Beans. And we moved in the first week of May. Love it here. It's a really cool studio. You can kind of maybe see a little bit around. I don't know, it's maybe a little bit. But yeah, they kept all the cool industrial chic type stuff going on here. And what I would do if you're interested in Eyes of Faith, go to our website. You can actually watch right from the homepage. You can watch a video about it. You can see the boss talk about her designs. You can see a lot of different things. So you actually can request an appointment with Amy right on the website, or give us a call if something's not working for you. And it's all private sessions, especially with COVID. We're technically not open to the public, so you just need to schedule an appointment to come see us.
Perfect. And then somebody outside of Schneider Valley that may be across the country, what should they do?
They can go onto our website. There's a number of options that we have a great online store. They can search optical partners across the country that carry Eyes of Faith. And they actually can even pick frames out that they like. And we will do an in-home try-on or an in-office try-on for them. It's a really cool process.
Nice. Nice. Folks, here at Jim Schneider, Eyes of Faith, we're going to get to the questions in 1 second here. Jim, I want to ask you this. What was one of the main, and this is going to pertain to some of the questions we'll get to about entrepreneurship, but
yeah,
what was one of the main thoughts that scared you when you realized that you're going to be quitting your great job with Gilbert's and you're going to be tag teaming with your wife to start an eyewear company
that we had no idea how to do,
and you had no idea how to do it? So what's the main thing that maybe kept you up at night, or didn't keep you up at night, or just kept popping into your head like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Oh, it's, first of all, that word passion keeps coming into my mind. I mean, it's like, that's kind of why we're doing this. But I was in the risk transfer business. Okay. So insurance 101, I pay you a premium. I'm transferring my risk of loss to the insurance company. Okay. And I look at this from a risk perspective. It's crazy. Okay. It's crazy. But I thought the greatest risk wasn't taking it. Okay. And that's a true entrepreneurial experience. So the greatest risk was not taking the risk. And if I was going to be sitting here, I kept thinking to myself, what would I be lying in bed at night thinking, if I don't do this 20 years from now, what am I going to be doing? I love my job as an insurance consultant, but now, I mean, it's like, that's the bottom line there, man. The greatest risk wasn't taking the risk.
Yeah. And I think that's when the word passion comes into play.
Yep.
If you are truly passionate about doing something, your brain starts to think about how passionate you are and doesn't even care of all the potential stumbling blocks or barriers that are ahead. It sees ways around, over, under, whatever it is.
Right.
That's great. All right, let's get to some of these questions here. We have some people sent some stuff in. The first one is, what is one? Oh, well, this is a good one. So, Jim, answer this very carefully. I don't want to get you in trouble from the boss, but this is a good question. What is one challenging aspect of a husband and wife working together on a daily basis?
That is a great question. And I love you, honey. I love you. but we, first of all, we get along amazingly well. When we did travel a lot, we always had a seat between us on the airplane, which was helpful. Okay. But I mean, I think communication is the key, but also giving each other some space. And sometimes, it's like, I might come and work at the studio and she might be working at home, but just, we give each other a little space because and that's kind of how it works. We have a warehouse operation here too in downtown Sharon. So I'm there quite a bit. So that's what, I mean, we get along great. It's try to communicate. We feed off of one another literally because I mean, her strengths are not my strengths, and my strengths are not her strengths. So, but we just come together, man. But
Yeah.
it can be challenging. I'm not gonna lie, it can be challenging, but it's great.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have that. Some people do it well in a managerial role, especially in any
Yeah.
business you're in. If they give the employee the space, or they know what they're good at and they can get their space. People like space. People don't like to be hounded. So for you guys to work together, I assume she knows her strengths, you know your strengths, and if you respect that,
Yeah.
then it becomes a nice blend and a good working environment for you all.
Yes.
Plus, you do have a dog in there as well.
Yeah, Ziva, the director of distractions.
Okay.
She keeps hold of everything here. This is like her. She thinks she owns this place. She walks around here like she owns this place. Jim Landino, I'm sorry, Ziva owns the building now. Okay.
Yeah, take that, Jimmy. Take that, man. So a question just popped up, Jim. It says, do we need a doctor's prescription for the glasses?
Yes and no. Okay, if you want to get a prescription in the glasses, absolutely, we need a doctor's prescription within the last 2 years. If you want glasses just to look cool, maybe, Sean, I don't know. That's one thing but we have a great lens that does blue blocking. So a lot of people have just been buying glasses because they're on their screen so much. It really helps with eye fatigue and the dangers of blue light. So that's we've been seeing a lot of that lately. So for that type of thing, you don't need a prescription, or you don't need a prescription for a reading glasses either.
I think you're in the right business, because the more I think about how much screen time young people have,
yeah,
I think everybody in this whole entire world is going to need glasses by the age of like 10. I mean, it is unbelievable.
That and they really need to protect your eyes outside too. The sun is the #1 source of blue light, and if you're not wearing sunglasses or you're not protecting your eyes, I feel like we're in La La Land here, because we're every day of sun coming on right now. But it's like I keep coming out with that song now. Whatever, but that's.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
One more question just popped up, and then we'll get to a different segment. But the greatest joy that you get out of your business?
Man, I'd say that's a really great question. I enjoy. It goes back down to the purpose of the company. It's like waking up every morning knowing you're living a life on purpose, and you really truly feel that way. And it's not work when it's a vocation. It's like we work a lot of hours. We're a very small organization. We do a lot of different things. We wear a lot of different hats, and it all brings us joy, because it's like this is what we feel like we were led to do.
Yeah. And I think that's why we've seen a lot of social pieces that have been tied to businesses within the last maybe 10 to 15 years, because people want to feel that connection, and people want to feel that giving aspect of the business as well. And when you channel your mind to that, just like you said, you're now, okay, yeah, you're in business to make money, but at the same time, you're in business to help others. Yeah. So when you're going to work every single day, you can think about the people that you have looked in the eye that your company has helped. And I think that would bring a lot of joy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Folks, we're here with Jim Schneider of Eyes of Faith. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll try to get to them as best as we can. Jim, before we jump into the portion where I talked to you a little bit about the partnership with Delilah,
yeah,
I'm going to actually do the rapid fire round.
Oh, okay.
So buckle up. I have about, let's see, maybe 20 very, very simple questions.
But first, you don't want to miss the Delilah segment, right? So don't let these people. Yeah.
Don't you dare check off now. You got to get the Delilah segment.
Yeah.
You got to hear it. And plus, I'm going to do a nice Delilah introduction for you. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Got it.
All right, I'm going to put the shades on for this, Jim.
All right. This is the rapid fire.
This is the rapid fire. Here we go. Rapid fire with Jim Schneider on the zip code. Favorite city to travel to?
Orlando.
Favorite food?
Salmon.
Favorite season?
Summer.
One word your wife would use to describe you?
Oh my gosh, crazy.
That was more than one word, but okay,
Yeah.
we'll take it, Jim. Call or text?
Text.
A
That's my
couple
love
is
language.
a couple is meeting you and Amy at a Shenango Valley restaurant. Where are you eating?
Well, Lulu beans.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Favorite snack food?
Cookies.
On average, how many hours per day do you work?
10.
Favorite summer activity?
Walking.
One movie you've seen way too many times, but you still love it.
Apollo 13.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Sasquatch or Loch Ness Monster?
Sasquatch.
One item I can buy for $1.
Lynn's cleaning cloths.
Good. That's what I was thinking as well, Jim. Favorite band?
I'm sorry, what?
Favorite band?
I got a lot of favorite bands. I'm sorry. We'll go with Casting Crowns and say we're our brand.
Favorite cereal?
Cheerios.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
PC or Mac?
Mac.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Coleslaw or potato salad?
Potato salad.
Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
One great thing the Shenango Valley has to offer?
People.
Good answer. And last but not least, the most important question of this segment of the rapid fire round. Where will the zip code be in 5 years?
100,000 followers.
And with that, folks, the rapid fire round is over with Jim Schneider. Jim, I hate to break it to you, but you aced that, but you still don't win anything.
Okay. I might get a free pair of glasses.
Oh, well, there you go.
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe. Or a new hat. I don't know. We'll see.
Sam Bakhtiar, who I had on last week on the show, he lives in California now. He's from Sharon.
Yeah.
He also said the same thing. Hundreds of thousands of followers in 5 years. So,
There we go.
Here we go, Jim. Here we go.
5 years from now, we're going to be right here again. I will have no hair at that time, and which is pretty close.
But nobody will know because he'll be wearing that same exact hat.
I'll be wearing the hat.
Yeah, and I might have the same amount of hair. Who knows? I have no idea. But all I know is, in 5 years, you will still be a friend of the show, Jim Schneider.
And you will be a friend of Eyes of Faith, Sean Zip-5.
There you go. So, folks, we are going to get to the portion of the show where Jim Schneider gets to talk to us about the partnership between Eyes of Faith and Delilah.
Yeah.
So, Jim, it looks like we're still holding strong with the same amount of people that were viewing
Okay,
before
good.
that segment. So that's good. Now, before we do that, let me go ahead and introduce the segment by doing this. Delilah. Okay.
That was good, man.
Hey, I mean,
that.
if she's ever in a bind, I can jump in and do that intro for her.
So my favorite is we launched the collaboration with Delilah in Las Vegas last year. And my favorite question came from a doctor in Houston, Texas. He listens to Delilah show every night. And he comes up to me and he says, Jim, no offense, but how does a guy like you get connected with Delilah? I'm like, offense taken. So the story is, and it's a really cool story. we have a mutual friend. And you remember I mentioned Disney World
Yes.
and the relationships that we built in Disney World? Well, one of our relationships that we built in Disney World was a very close friend. He has become a very close friend of ours. And he's also a very close friend of Delilah. And so almost exactly a year ago, he calls us up and says, Jim, I need you and Amy to get to New York. And I'm like, okay, why? He's like, well, Delilah's going to be there. She's from Seattle, but she's going to be there emceeing a Broadway event. I'm like, okay. So we hop in the car, we drive to New York, and like we're going to be meeting with Delilah. Maybe listen to her. I mean, this is crazy. Yeah, we're just getting little eyes of faith. You know, that's the thing. It's always little eyes of faith meeting with like very famous people. And so we get to New York and we meet with her. And it was supposed to be like an hour meeting. We're gonna like fit her for some glasses. Maybe she might make a social media post about us to her millions of followers. And that meeting turned into a 4-hour meeting. And she just loved the brand. She tried on so many glasses, she couldn't even decide which one she wanted. But at that 4th hour, we showed her these new styles that were coming out in September with these beautiful angel wings on the side that Amy had designed. And Amy took 2 years in that design process, and they're stunning. We showed them to her, and she starts tearing up a little bit because she lost an 18-year-old son to suicide, and another son that she's adopted like 15 kids, by the way. And she lost one of her adopted sons from Africa to sickle cell anemia. So she tears up and she's like talking about her angels, and I'm like, she's just was really emotional. And then she ended the meeting with this beautiful prayer. God, I don't know how you're going to help me use my platform and to help this company and let's do some great things. And it was just a beautiful prayer. And we hugged and we kind of said, okay, we'll hope to keep in touch type thing. And the next morning I'm thinking, Amy, I told her, Delilah has a program called Point Hope in Ghana, Africa. And her whole goal is to help orphans and widows because, AIDS was so prevalent and so many people died. There's a lot of orphans and widows in this area. And she built this village called Point Hope, and they were looking to build homes there, small homes for these kids. And I said to Amy, the styles of our frames are called Shadow, Shelter, Refuge, and Soar. They're already named. Why don't we talk with Delilah about collaborating with her on these 4 styles, and let's try to build some homes for her in Ghana, Africa through the Wear and Share program. And Amy liked it. We had dinner with our mutual friend that evening. He loved it. We reached out to his manager the next day, and in 2 weeks, everything was approved for a collaboration with Delilah and to build homes in Africa. And I'm like, okay. and then we launched it in September, and by December, we already had 1 home financed to build. And we're well on our way to our 2nd home right now, even with the COVID nightmare that we're dealing with right now. And Delilah has been she's got the biggest heart, and we have just grown to love her so much. And she talks about Eyes of Faith all the time on her show. And I mean, she wears the glasses. I mean, you gotta go check them out. And so yeah, it's been quite a fun and rewarding and joyful relationship.
Yeah, and she posted a Facebook Live video on her Facebook, correct?
Yeah.
About the glasses.
Yeah.
So I believe it.
She just did that last week, and boy, I tell you what, people went crazy about it because somebody asked her about it. Delilah, are those new glasses? And she's like, "Well, I'm glad you asked." And she just went right into it. It was great. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to see that video where she went live, where can they watch that?
Actually, if you go to our Facebook page, the Eyes of Faith, it's eyes.of.faith on Facebook, or just Google it. or search it. You can go down a few posts and you can watch that video.
Okay. Now the names of those glasses,
Mm-hmm.
that was already a done deal before you guys met Delilah.
Yeah. Yes, that was done. It was
So
amazing.
that's a God thing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We felt that it was a total God thing. That was just like here. I mean, he's just given us great favor. I mean, we're just Jim and Amy Schneider from Sharon, Pennsylvania, Little Eyes of Faith, and we're just got this favor with these big national people. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now I have to ask you this, something you mentioned in the rapid fire round. So you got a nice hat there, you got some really stylish glasses, and your favorite cereal is Cheerios.
Well, Honey Nut Cheerios. Okay.
Okay. All right. Folks, not regular Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to clarify that.
Some things are, can be pretty boring.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios as well.
Yeah.
So we had another question was, how has the business helped you grow in your faith?
Well, when you're living it, okay, it's you've gotta, first of all, you gotta walk the walk, all right, and in terms of the faith element, and it brings my wife and I together. We try to, and we know when we don't start the day off right, we're not starting out in a prayerful mode. But sometimes, honestly, when you're running a faith-based organization, you can start getting, the world starts working against you, and you got to try to bring it back. And a couple of years ago, I needed to connect again, and that's why I went to the C.S. Lewis Fellowship Program. Was a big thing for me to just really dive into it again and just make sure that we're staying constant in our faith walk.
Yeah, for sure.
Great question, though.
Folks, here, Jim Schneider, Eyes of Faith. Thank you, Sheets. Sheets run and done.
I'm going to do that too.
Jim, let me ask you this. If we talk about entrepreneurship, and maybe there's a viewer that's watching this right now or listening to this right now or in 3 months or in 5 years, what would be one tip that you would give them if they are thinking about stepping out of the boat, so to speak, on an idea or a passion that they've had?
Well, you hit right on it. It's a passion thing. And it's if you are, because when we started Eyes of Faith, that's what was driving us. It's like, because people just don't do it. If you got that passion inside you and you truly feel that this is going to be of great purpose, and either help others or help your family or do whatever it is, and that's why kind of our tagline is purpose, passion, style. But I'm going to add a couple other things. I don't know. There's people in marketing classes and know the 4 Ps: product, place, price, and promotion. Right? With entrepreneurship, I truly feel it's purpose, passion, perseverance, and prayer. Because starting a business is really hard. It's really hard, and you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, and you're going to wake up sometimes and say, why did I even do this? And you just got to persevere and get down on your knees sometimes and just pray about it. And because, we've had some tough times. I mean, these last 11 years, there's been some tough times, and you're going to go through those no matter what business you're in. We're really very thankful that, we've not a lot of businesses last 11 years. It's the odds are against you.
Yes.
Big time of even making it, especially in this huge optical world where we're just competing with armies of salespeople from other companies, and now everything's been canceled, so we can't connect with our customers. So you run through challenges big time, no matter what you do. So I would just say persevere. If you are going to start a company and you got to do it, you've got to just do it and dig in and not let go.
When was that moment from the time you guys started Eyes of Faith that you realized this is going to work, or was that even ever not an option?
Well, failure was not an option. Okay, we're not going to fail, and but we felt that probably in the second year we started thinking, okay, people like the brand. We needed to do some different things from a styling perspective. We came out a little too conservative at the beginning with our styling, and we weren't naming the frames at that time. It's like what really happened when we started putting names to the frames and putting scripture on the temples. You could see what happened with the brand after that. It just started going like this. It was like, and then it just started. The Eyes of Faith brand itself, because we had other brands. I mean, we licensed with NOTW, which was Not of This World. We licensed with Women of Faith. We were doing all these licensing arrangements. But Eyes of Faith was, once we started doing that, naming them and getting the styles, and we started investing in that program that we could see what's happening 2 years out. That's really what happened.
And to this day, you guys are the only eyewear company that puts scripture verses on the glasses, correct?
As far as we know, yes. We're the largest and the smallest. So, yeah.
So, folks, if you are currently wearing a generic piece of eyewear, I don't care whether you need them to see or you're just wearing sunglasses, or you're like me and you need just a cool pair of glasses that are just that have no prescription because you want to look stylish, take them off and talk to Jim or talk to Amy or visit their website and give Eyes of Faith a chance. It's an unbelievable company, and you will see what we're talking about when Jim says that Amy has good style. You will see it. Go on the website and see for yourself. Put down the Gucci glasses, put down the Coach glasses, Armani Exchange, whatever you're wearing. Put it down and go to Eyes of Faith.
Amen.
So my question for you is, I want to get to the giving portion of every single piece of eyewear, and I want to understand what Sight Ministries actually looks like. So do they show up to a village, or do they show up to a city just with boatloads of eyewear? What's the exact process?
It's a great question. What we do at Sight Ministries, again, they're based out of Houston, Texas. Again, it's been a tough year. We haven't been active this year because of everything going on, but all the years past, they will work with a pastor that's there locally, okay? Whether it be Kenya, Mexico City, the Philippines, wherever it is, they're going to work with a local pastor. And the goal is to bring people to that church. And then once they're there, we typically have one or two eye doctors that will do an exam, and they'll write down the prescription. They'll give it to a runner, and that person goes to the optical team. We have a large portfolio of lens selections, and we have like 8 different styles and different colors, and they choose the frame that they like, and then we pull the lens based on that frame, and then we really literally just pop the lenses in, and then they get a pair of glasses right there on the spot. And actually more prevalent is a pair of reading glasses. In different areas of the world, they need reading glasses more than need distance glasses. And if they don't need a prescription, everybody walks away with a pair of sunglasses to protect their eyes.
Gotcha. And they do most of their work in which region?
They're all over. I mean, from El Salvador to, again, they like going to Kenya. We've been to Kenya a number of times. I think they went to Mexico City. They've been to Ukraine. Just wherever we feel like there's a need, or where we get a demand of people looking to go.
Gotcha. Folks, here at Jim Schneider, we got a few more minutes, so if you have any questions, we can still get to it.
Okay.
Jim Schneider of Eyes of Faith Ministry. I almost said Eyes of Faith Ministries. Hey, it's basically a ministry.
It is. It really is. Yeah, you can say that. I guess. Eyes of Faith Optical Ministries. It's a lot though. So
there you go. So I'm curious can you just tell some of the viewers where you were located and how you just moved to buy Lulu Beans in that complex there?
We're here in downtown Sharon. We have our warehouse space is right behind Penn State Shenango in one of the winter warehouses. So that's where all the shipping and receiving is done. And I had a little office over there. Amy has been working from our third bedroom for a long time. And we finally, with Jim Landino getting this space ready, it was like perfect for us. So I can kind of give you a little view with the windows, and it just ended up being an absolute perfect space for us to have a design studio and an optical boutique together. And Amy was doing a lot of friends and families for our frame and lens packages that we do, and they always had to come to our house. And it's like, we need somewhere for them to go and come, and in a nice setting. So, and that's kind of what we're doing. We have kind of technically 2 locations in downtown Sharon, but we're loving this space here, and Jim Landino and Jen did just an amazing job in renovating this place.
Yeah, you guys have a great corner back there. When you look at how you still have the industrial look paired with the glass, you guys got a great office. That's a great look.
Yeah, it's cool. We love it.
So if people in the Shenango Valley want to make an appointment, they will go to that location.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so folks, before we end some things here, I'm just gonna tell you to follow Eyes of Faith 1. That is where Jim is operating from right now on this Instagram platform. You can like them on Facebook, and do not forget to go to eofoptical.com. That is where you can try on some virtual glasses. You can try on some virtual. They try on virtual sunglasses as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. And then you can book an appointment, and you can go see that very cool studio that we were just talking about in Sharon, right behind Lulu Beans there. And like you said earlier, if not, you can do the same thing, or you can sign up for the package where you guys actually ship glasses, correct? Mm-hmm. And you can do that as well.
Yep.
Great. How many locations do you guys have throughout the whole country?
We're probably in a little over 500 locations.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a decent amount.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so
you go to our website, you hit the locator, it populates who carries Eyes of Faith. Yeah.
So you may have a location near you.
Yeah, I think we're in every state. Some states are more than others. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great. But folks, like I said before, and I mean this, it is great to support companies that give back, and it is great to support companies that are passionate about something and have a vision for something. And Eyes of Faith does just that. So, every couple years you need to, go to the eye doctor, you need to fulfill that prescription, your eyes change, I'm telling you, you got to give Eyes of Faith a shot. Yeah. Go on their website and check it out.
Awesome.
So, Jim, thanks a lot, man, for coming on the Zip Code. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I hope you're a friend of the show in the future. And when we hit that 100,000 followers, you'll definitely be back on the show by then.
Yeah, there's no doubt. All this fault. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to the Zip Code. We will get you the guest for next week. But once again, drop the glasses and get to Eyes of Faith. Jim, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you guys coming and viewing the Zip Code. And we'll talk to you soon. I love you, Shenango Valley. Peace out.